as horses.
Like, what do?
They buck, they bolt, they get spooked, they kick.
My biggest challenge with riding is owning my second horse. I bought a baby, and training her and dealing with all her issues are really difficult because I was still I've never trained like a horse or a young horse before, so bringing her up all by myself was really difficult.
The hardest part about riding for me would probably overcoming like not having my own horse, so I get to ride a lot of different horses, and sometimes it's hard, you know, being able to compete and stuff when you don't actually have your own horse.
When I first got my new horse, he was about like 6 feet tall, so he's big. It kind of freaked me out when I first got him. He gets scared at certain things, so he'll spook or he'll try to run away, or he's just a lot to handle, and that intimidated me a lot. And you know, overcoming that fear if I'm gonna get hurt or, you know, something gonna happen, that took a while, and I'm still dealing with that to this day, and I've had him for almost a year now, so I just have to be careful, and safety has been an issue because I've gotten hurt multiple times.
So she took off like jumping, bucking, car hopping in the air like multiple times, couldn't get her to stop, and so I like held onto her neck and I fell under her and she kicked me, and I like whiplashed my head and I thought I broke my back and my neck, so I had to get the ambulance to come. I couldn't move and I was like terrified, but it turns out I got a really bad concussion.
Broken both legs, both arms, gotten 2 concussions.
After one of my stadium rounds, I came galloping out of the arena, and my horse bucked, and I fell off and bruised my tailbone.
I haven't been in a bad accident, but I have been around when there were bad injuries. One of them was a horse was just standing still when its rider came over, and he broke away from the lead rope that tied him to the bar and stepped on her and broke her arm. Another one was similar, where the horse bucked her off and then stomped on her a couple of times. It was a different girl.
We're finding cows, and we were going up a hill, and the horse I was on spooked at something up ahead and started backing down the hill, ran into the horse behind it, fell down, and rolled over me twice.
Get a lot of alone time you have time with your horse, but if it's just time to think to yourself about a lot of things, and I like being competitive in that sort of sense, like when you compete, and competing is definitely a lot of fun because there's always another time to try again, or like it's not always that one chance like it is in school sports like NCS or something. There's more than one of those events, and just like looking back on like a year ago, you can see how much progress you've made with your horse, and it just feels really great.
It's a really good way to relax, and it's a nice getaway. It lets you forget about homework and school and just take a break.
I've always liked horses, and like riding them is just really fun. I like to jump when I did it, and I also like dressage and just riding.
Working with your horse, which is difficult because you have to communicate with your partner that doesn't talk and is an animal. So I think that's a more difficult trait than most sports have, because you can talk to your other teammates like, you know, pass me the ball.
Actually, I think horseback riding is a sport only if you have a goal for why you're riding. If you're just riding to be on a horse and go yip-de-doo, then that's not exactly a sport. What's a sport is if you have a goal to get to this level, to teach your horse how to do this, to teach yourself how to do this, then it's a sport.
Well, that depends. You might as well ask me, do you think running is a sport? No, if you're just doing it because you're doing it for fun, or you're doing it just to get exercise. But if you're doing it competitively and against other people, then yes.
It is physical, and there are rules. Anyone who says riding is not a sport has never tried it.